Hey guys, Tom here. With today's Talk and Drive video, we're going to talk about the band Rush. Now, if you're a Rush fan, you may very well know that they have announced a tour in 2026, and they've got themselves a new drummer. Her name is Annika Niles, and I think she's from Germany. And so they're going to go back on tour, and I think they're going to get themselves maybe a keyboard player to play some of the different keyboard parts. But they're going to do about 4 shows in all the different towns or cities that they advertise. And it's not going to be a huge tour, but it's going to be, they're going to start, I think, in LA or in Inglewood. And so you could sign up. For what I did is I signed up, you have the option to sign up for a pre-sale for tickets, and then I think it's the 13th this month at noon Pacific time you can get on and try to get your seats. So in the pre-sale you got to select 4 different places where you would like to see them, and so they've got 4 shows there. I think 4 in Fort Worth, 1 in Mexico City. I think there's 4 in Chicago, Cleveland, Toronto, and probably somewhere else that I don't remember right now. And so this is going to be cool because if you're a Rush fan, you know that they haven't been playing, they haven't toured for 10 years. And as you know, they lost their drummer, Mr. Neil Peart, to cancer. That was awful. That was freaking horrible. Greatest drummer in the world. And so now they're back on tour. They missed it long enough that they want to do this again. And I am just stoked. I'm a huge Rush fan. Loved these guys since 1980. Anyway, and so it'll be good to see these guys play again. They're in their early mid-70s, I think, now. And so hopefully they'll have some more music left in them. Boy, I sure hope they do. So your typical Rush fan, and this is what I wanted to talk about for a minute, was, Rush's music, it's progressive rock. Now, progressive rock is a little bit different animal, okay? It's not something that you can really dance to. So the whole crowd that likes dance music they can dance to, go to the club and listen to it. Yeah, no. Rush isn't that band. So they don't have that crowd listening to them. And then you have your hard rock crowd. And the hard rockers, they want to get punched in the teeth. They want their music to crack their sternum with a G chord and coming at you at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Well, Rush, you're not going to get that from Rush. Rush isn't that. They're not going to do that. So at this point, you say, well, then what in the hell are they? So now we've eliminated a whole bunch of listeners. The dance music, the hard rockers. Well, what are these guys? Their crowd is what appeals to their crowd is lyrical mastery, their songs and the lyrics that Neil used to write. I mean, who thinks that way? Just go through in the liner notes of some album or something, or pull it up online and look at the liner notes. Look at the lyrics to all their songs. I mean, it's so well thought out. That is part of what appeals to the Rush crowd. Then it's also the master musicianship. These guys are freaking titans. They're monsters. They can play just so unbelievably well, and the stuff they play is complex. And when I say complex, what I mean is, how I said earlier, the dance crowd, they don't buy Rush songs and dance to them because you can't. A lot of their songs are in those more complex time signatures, that you see in jazz, and it's like 7/4 time, 7/8 time, 6/4 time. This is not stuff you're going to dance to. This is stuff that you really have to focus on to play. If you play anything at all, you know that you have an idea of playing in different time signatures, but playing in 7/4 time, yeah, you have to really think about what you're doing when you do stuff like that. So that's what these guys do, and they're not cutting a new album, or at least they haven't said they are. And they're going back on tour. They don't like traveling, I read, so they're going to do more shows in one place so that you can still fly in and see them. And I think they had a small tour that they laid out, maybe, I don't know, 12 shows or something. And then they added more shows to that when they saw that there was an interest there. So when you have 4 shows like every other day in one venue, that's also good for the Rush fan club. And all the Rush fans out there love their music. I still listen to it a lot to this day. They're always my favorite band. Growing up, there was a small selection of us that listened to Rush. We were huge Rush fans. Back in high school in the 80s, because I'm old, everybody had their thing, and it was, the Scorpions, it was Ozzy, it was Motley, it was, and then whatever bubblegum stuff was out there. I remember some kids who were into, like Adamant, right? And then there were other kids that listened to The Clash, which was a derivative of the whole punk rock scene out of England. Everybody was into something else, their own band. Well, me and my friends, we were into Rush, and there was probably 15 of us that were pretty hardcore on Rush. And back in the day, that these different music magazines would come out rating, the best drummer and the best guitarists and the best bassists in all of rock music. And I do remember one year where Geddy Lee, the bassist for Rush, was voted the #1 bassist in rock music, which we totally expected. The guy is just insane playing the bass. And then Mr. Neil Peart was rated the #1 best drummer of all the rock drummers out there. And so that was always a debate amongst all the different kids growing up. They thought their bands, got cheated out of that list, or what they liked. And there were so many bands back then, because it was Motley Crue had launched, and then you had all the hair metal bands, and then you had a lot of stuff from England. You had Judas Priest and a lot of stuff. AC/DC was always popular, always, and they should be, because they're really good. And you had the Scorpions out of Germany, and a lot of great music from Europe. And Rush was out of Canada. Rush wasn't European at all. And so back to the issue here, or why I'm making this video. This is going to be fun. I don't know if I'll get tickets at all. I'll be online as soon as I'll be online 15 minutes early before they start selling tickets. I think it's through Ticketmaster, not a sponsor of this video. And I'm going to see what I can get out of it. I'd like to be at the very first concert. The first one's in Inglewood. And I'd love to be at that first concert to, see them come back playing, and their inaugural show. It's 50 years that these guys have been doing it. 50 years. That's a long time. That's a really long time. So I'm really excited. Don't know how many of you out there are really Rush fans at all. They're an older band, and the older bands don't tend to get the crowds turning out for them anymore. It's like I noticed that when I went to The Who a few years ago in Seattle. And the Who, back in the day, they were a huge band. Lots of hits. Been around since the 60s. Well, they're old now. They were about hitting 80, I think, when I saw them anyway, or 79 or something. And they didn't sell out the arena there in Seattle, which was just blew my mind. I couldn't believe it, but most of their fans have died off. And a lot of the younger fans out there, the younger kids, they don't know who, you know, the Who was or is, and they'd probably hear the occasional song on the radio or whatever and recognize it, but most of their fans had probably died off, is what some of the people sitting around me were saying. It's probably true. That's probably exactly what it was. So, all right. Well, that's today's video on Rush tickets. We'll see if I get some. I hope to get some. Get 2 of them, and we will tune back in, see how that goes. So anyway, today's Friday. This was your Talk and Drive, and have a good weekend. Thanks for watching. We'll chat soon.